So Sunday's over and it's Sunday afternoon. I'm sitting on my deck. I just got done preaching this morning, and like many pastors, we kind of play this mental game. And what it is we review. It's not so much whether it's success or failure, but we critique ourselves. And we're usually the hardest at critiquing ourselves more than anybody else. Some of the questions that you might go through is my passage. Did I handle it properly? Did I exegete it correctly? Is there something I need to go back to next week and clarify, or something that maybe I didn't make clear? Maybe you have thoughts like, how come I thought of that now after the message? That would have been a great insight or a great illustration. Sometimes we look back at something we felt like we struggled over, a certain point we didn't clarify. Then there's just some things that are kind of practical, like who looked engaged, who looked plugged in, were there people taking notes? Did people seem checked out? Were there new families? Did I notice anyone new who hadn't been there before? Again, that could be hard if your church is in the thousands, but if your church is just a couple hundred, you notice those things. You might ask yourself, where was this person? Where was this family? We play this mental game, and it doesn't, again, mean whether we feel like we're successful or whether we failed Sunday. But let me put a different mindset on this when we think about Sundays, because a lot of times, like I've shared before, it comes down to how many people came and what was the offering, and that really makes it simple, and it's not accurate whatsoever. But those are two of the biggest things that we see. But if we want to get practical, maybe two things you can consistently look at that say a lot is this: how engaged was my family, my church family? How many people were there using their gifts? How many people were there serving? Were there new people serving? Whether it was children's ministry, nursery, choir, worship team, setup, takedown, ushers, greeters. Were there just new faces that have been coming but that are now on the front lines doing something they've never been engaged in before? That's always a good sign that your church is healthy and that it's growing. And secondly, which is just as important, is were there people there that heard the gospel for the first time? Whether they've been coming a few weeks or, I don't know, maybe they've been coming a year, but you understand that today was the day where their spiritual ears were open and you shared the gospel. You shared it openly, you shared it clearly, you shared it concisely, and you gave people an opportunity to respond. I always go back to those two, because the truth is, to those that are saved and committed, I want to see them using their gifts. That's important to me. I'll always ask myself if I'm winning or losing according to that. And secondly, did the gospel go forth? There are too many Sundays where I look back and I go, I didn't share the gospel today. What an idiot. And when that happens, I got to stop, and I'll even write down in my sermon for next week, remember to share the gospel. Our sermons are great, but they're meant not only to disciple, but also to reach the lost. And there's always a mix of both on Sunday morning. So when you sit down today and you review your sermon, you review your Sunday, you review your church, be easy on yourself. Don't be so hard. And remember, there's really only a few things that you need to keep track of. And it's not really the offering. It's not really how many people came. That's not really up to you. That's up to your church family. But what you can be a part of is how well you try to get them engaged in their gifts and how well you can engage them in presenting the gospel. Think about it. If you like more insights weekly, we have an email. Reach out to me at heckman@generations.com. We'll send you that out every week, and trust me, it'll speak to you.